Welcome back, folks. Game number 2 set to get underway. Elimination on the line here. Wheel fighting for survival against Complexity. An interesting game 1, but Complexity with just some superior team fighting, really, which seems weird to say after seeing that draft that Wheel put together.
They managed to kind of brute force their way through. We talked about fighting around the big ulti cooldowns, but even when they fought with all their ultis, they just couldn't get everything to come together and work. So
yeah, that lone Druid got pretty big by the end of that game, man. He was just a beast, and BKB on the bear seems like all you need.
Will now 1 game away from elimination. This is it. This is gonna get tough for them. They've got to dig deep here and find a way through. And
dig deep, boys.
It's Complexity going through.
All right, let's take a look at this opening draft here. Complexity first pick the sniper this go around, and Wheel they'll take the Earthshaker. Bans getting shuffled around a little bit. We'll still see the Omni Knight and Bat Rider banned out, but this go around the Lina taken out first by Wheel. And well, interesting that Complexity opted to ban Troll out early this time. He got through to 4th ban in the last game, and here getting a little bit more priority, I guess.
Yeah, maybe thinking, okay, the Jug didn't work, then they'll go for the Troll this time, but I'm not sure what kind of led them to this decision. They get the Sniper. That's going to be their Lina replacement. Probably see Swindles play this on the mid lane, run like a dual core lineup with Zyz playing the other farmer, and then you get that offlane type hero, your Initiator, your maybe an Axe here, which is still in the pool, something along those lines for Z-Freak. Axe still seems really good. I mean, you're seeing it game after game, just being such a stable initiator and offers so much to a team.
Yeah, Z-Freak just looks like he's so comfortable on it. It feels like he knows his limits very well, understands that when to go in and when to go kind of balls to the wall, and he has a better understanding than a lot of Axes. I see him in a lot of those games where I go, oh, that's a little bit bold, and then we see what the follow-up is. They've got the mech ready, they've got the all-heal there, and he's very good at baiting those initiations, getting the other team to overreact to his positioning, then have his team come in and punish. And there you go. He'll be picked up again.
So, Complexity maybe considering banning out the Sleazel Jug, but from the most part, I think they're just going to be happy with what they've got. They're going to be thinking how they can kind of round things off here, what supports they want, what kind of safe lane farmers are open for the taking for Zyz. Do they want to go for another more push-oriented draft? Do they want to get something like the Chen Lone Druid again? Zizou's Chen was not bad. The heals definitely was kind of the big thing that he offered to those teams. Like when you had that big team fight coming in with the Ravagers and the Global Silence, even just having the mech, and then as soon as the Silence was gone, the Hand of God to keep everyone healed up and negate a lot of that Zeus damage. Chen against the Zeus ended up working wonders, not to mention against the Juggernaut Omnislash as well to tank a lot of that damage.
Yeah.
5 seconds
I'm admiring my fantasy draft here, GoDz, and
how
well it went in that last game.
Okay.
I feel pretty good about that. I mean, I had Relic and Sleazel from the losing team, so...
And they
lost, but
points.
they were the 2 that farmed really well. That was the Zeus and that was the Jug. So they were the 2 that actually had pretty good KDAs. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Do you have a rank on
here.
there? 34 out of 750?
Yeah, 34 out of 750. That's not too bad. I'm not on the leaderboards, not top 10 yet, but
10 seconds
that's there's somebody named Moneymaker on there. That's that poker player. That's the handle he uses, Moneymaker.
He's got,
I'm sure it's not the
second
poker player.
and third.
Yeah, I guess
He's
you can.
cashing in.
A lot of them you can do, if there's a little M, that means multiple re-entry. So if you're really confident, you're like, no, this is value, I know this bet. Sometimes you can just enter as many times as you want. So if you want to keep paying the entry fee, you can just keep entering.
And you can enter the same roster. Like if you think this is the ideal roster, you just enter that same roster.
If you are 100%,
times.
if you see like, oh, Smash is $10, this, oh, look at this. You have some inside info? Absolutely, dude. You could pay $100 in $10 entry fees and just clean up if it's just all top 10, David Parker. Parker. That's the dream right there.
I like this. It's not just for the money. I want to see a leaderboard filled with David Parker.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Somebody tweeted me the other day and said, "What's your name on Vulcan? I just want to see how I'm comparing to you." And he started tweeting at me. He was talking shit, man. He was like, "I beat you." Like, yeah.
I had somebody tweeting me saying they had their Vulcan team picked and was ready to make some cash.
There you
on
go.
Twitter. So,
dude, it's getting more serious. They had a couple $10 entry fees for the games today. So it's
the head-to-head, the 1v1.
Yeah, the head-to-head is bold. You got to be brave to do the head-to-heads. I don't know.
I think what would make that more fun, I don't know, can you actually like talk shit to that, like, because it's a 1v1, can you actually communicate to the person, like, say, like, is it like a GG, well played, you beat me at the end, or is it just completely anonymous?
It shows every person that's on the pool, so you can see what their account name is, but I don't know
is
that
there a way
you
to,
can
like, private message them or something and just say, like, man, you had a smart draft, like, you played well, or, like...
It should be an option in the head-to-head, though, because you're in such a...
You get salty with them, like, so you lucked out with that player pick when they should have been feeding or something.
I like that, that. We'll have to put it in the suggestion box, I guess. Well, more picks coming out here. Wheel, they'll take Morphling with their 3rd. They banned out Slark as well as the Abaddon. Complexity banning out Tinker as well as PL. Very irritating heroes on the side of Complexity in terms of their bans. The Abaddon ban especially seems a little strange to me. Maybe this will be that Strength Morphling, and that makes a little more sense. You got the Aphotic Shield to try and cleanse off that huge duration stun. So the more I think about it, the more, yeah, that should be a Strength offlane Morphling here for probably Mike.
He played it once the other day while I was casting with Dakota, so we're seeing that Strength Morph come out more and more. You've got good follow-up damage from the Queen of Pain. Probably want another hero that can dump some damage onto the stunned up hero here. So either going to be coming out for your safe lane farmer. Sometimes you see the support Skyreth, I feel, was largely a deny pick, because Skyreth is the ideal hero to run as a support with the offlane Morphling. So Complexity, it's a good support for them nonetheless, but I think they were kind of led to pick this even more so because of that Morphling. But other options is like your Ancient Apparition, where you can get an Ice Blast off, your Witch Doctor with a Death Ward. There are still other possibilities.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do Wheel go for next? The beginnings of a very scary draft here. Queen of Pain, we've seen what she can get done, whether it's safe lane or more of a roaming type role, the off-lane Morphling. What do you think? Are you sold on the Strength Morphling? Is that your jam, or is that a little too gimmicky for the David Parker seal of approval?
I like it. It works. It's not something I think you want to be like first picking and revealing right from the get-go, but I think it has a good place right now. I don't think it's something you can run every game as well. You want to mix it up a bit. It's good because it got great gap closing capabilities with like the Trinkle, and all you need is Trinkle Soaring. It kind of
that's the thing about it. You don't need any farm to pull it off.
Fits Mike perfectly. No, in all seriousness, it actually becomes more of a 4-position hero. It's good when you have a farming support because the hero doesn't particularly farm very well. It never really ends up with a high net worth, so you want to have at least one support that can get some good farm. I guess in this case it's going to be more the Lion, or at least you have 2 very greedy calls, a Queen of Pain and pick some big hard carry for Sleazel. Could be the Jug again, but with the Chen, Complexity almost like preemptively getting a pseudo counter for the Jug, at least the Omni Slash. Yeah,
exactly right. We saw a couple times in that game actually the little bit of RNG going both ways, where Jug gets the perfect bounces and when he doesn't. Probably your Zizu hero again, and I think it'll be Swindle taking the sniper mid, and they'll look at their Ziz hero for this final pick. So
both teams need their carry.
Yeah, so Wheel thinking about this.
Jug, Slark.
Slark's been banned by Wheel already.
Slark's gone.
Which is weird that they banned it. Slark's always good against Sniper, but I guess not as good against Axe Skywrath. So
and Lone Druid. So.
Okay, Lone Druid banned out. If the Jug gets banned here, what does that leave us with? I mean, you've got some of the traditional really hard carries, like your Anti-Mage, your Spectre. Yeah, pull up the hero list here. What else comes to mind? Ember Spirit is still in the pool. Like Complexity could look like an Ember Spirit mid, then safe lane the Sniper.
Gyro Luna type heroes.
5 seconds remaining.
Dro still in the pool. Void also still in the pool.
Dro could work for Wheel, I think. They've got like Morphling and Queen of Pain, so that gives some actual right-click damage to those here. Especially Morph when you're a Strength Morph, you lose a lot of that damage, so having a Dro to make up for it a bit is kind of nice. But otherwise, yeah, Slardar is a hero that you see every now and then in these minus armor strats, but neither team with any kind of great physical damage to combo with it. I don't think Wheel want a Slardar. Complexity, it's a bit better because they're on the dire side and have axe spins and sniper. But
so they do ban out the Jug. Terra Blade, we saw that picked up earlier today, so I guess that could be an option.
I think that's a decent one of the better options, but Spectre is still a possibility.
If I had to guess here,
10 seconds
I think Complexity have to be tempted by the Ember Spirit.
I'm not. I just don't know their team and what they like to pick. I mean, last game it's Lone Druid, so I feel just so. I don't feel confident in making any bold claims like this is the hero they want.
Yeah,
but I think
none of those sound perfect for Wheel. I think out of all those, Dro sounded like the most fitting for their lineup. Could help win those other lanes with the Aura.
I like the Dro Ranger for Wheel for sure, with the Dro Aura, and pretty good as far as, I mean, there's an axe with a blink call to catch him out, but for the most part it seems like a pretty solid Dro game.
10 seconds remaining.
For Complexity, they've got the Sniper. They don't have to pick a really hard carry
5 seconds
if they don't
remaining.
want to, but they could do so. They could get like a Spectre or something. Gyro Wheel.
Okay.
Dire team
A bit more lane dominance. This is going to help out against the axe as far as pushing him back into the jungle early on. Deal with a potential Complexity team that want to push you early, as we saw last game. So to carry that can actually come TP in as soon as he hits level 6, offer a cooldown and some flak damage. Fights a bit earlier compared to the Drow, who can't really be used to defend early pushes. Complexity, though, now, I mean, they've had plenty of time to think this one through, even leading into this.
And they still have a lot of reserve time here. So if it's not the Ember Spirit, Spectre does feel okay. Chaos against the Gyrocopter.
Do you dare Medusa here, even?
Reserve
That's too
time.
greedy.
It could be a good Dusa game. They don't have any counters to her. It would be very greedy, though, with Sniper and Axe and a Chen on top of that. Could still make it work, though.
Yeah, it's doable, but the Axe, you're only going to have limited farm in the jungle to fall back on with the Chen on your side, so... Or you go something... Okay, so you're laying with the Skywrath. I don't know, a lot of carry bans here, so...
Yeah.
Possibilities are limited for complexity. We'll get 17 seconds and we'll know, but... For Wheel, their draft looking solid. It's going to be a Lycan. There we go. That's a carry which was used to be the carry.
Complexity. You know, the only reason I didn't suggest Lycan is because they went with this kind of pushing strat last game. It worked out, but that can often be a fool me once kind of a deal, and teams will be a little more cautious the next go around. We'll have Earthshaker again. He's generally good against pushing lineups, though last game he fell behind quite quickly. I do like the Lycan here, though. They don't really have too much to control him. No clockwork. Fissure is about as close as they come.
And set Roche taking here as well. Like, you're on the dire side. Before that, none of the other 4 heroes great at bringing down Roche fast. You can Roche with, like, a Chen Sniper with Mask of Madness, but the Chen tanks with his creeps. But this is, like, your Medallion, your Vlads, and just your great physical damage early on. Like, 10 minutes in, you can be taking Roche with the Lycan.
Prepare for battle.
All right, so Swindle the one to take the Sniper. Looks like it will be a Sniper going to the mid lane. No regen pulled to him here. Somebody gonna do some drive-by tango delivery?
Buddy Chen, surely.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wow, this is really brave. All right, Swindle feeling very confident after game 1.
One of the nice things about the Chen is that this hero will buy all of your starting items. He'll get smoke, courier, wards, even sentries if you need it. And Skywrath can go boots. Instead, he's gonna go for the Null Talisman. He's already got the fast base movement speed, so very early boost to his mana pool as well as his damage based on these items.
Yeah, we'll see what he goes for. But probably Arcane Bolt level 1 just so that he can spam out that harassment. No clarities, though, so that does limit.
That's the one thing. I don't mind the Null. I don't know. If you go for the Null Talisman, you can't buy Tangos and Clarity, which makes this lane a bit harder.
Yeah.
If Lycan should have maybe bought a Clarity with his last 50 gold just to use on the Skywrath here.
Yeah, that's
something.
Not a bad point.
That's a small thing, but definitely not having a Clarity in lane can limit your zoning potential against Mike on the Morphling.
Yeah. And Ziz will take the Lycan here to the safe lane with Z-Freak going off lane on the Axe once more. Radiant side, Relic takes the Queen of Pain, probably slated for the mid. Derp will be on the Earthshaker this go around with Mike on the Morphling like you mentioned. This time, Goody, he'll take the Lion. So same hero, but different player this time with Sleesel on the Gyrocopter. Boots first, already levels up Rocket Barrage. So they're going to be looking for a first blood if the opportunity presents itself. And based on how aggressive Z-Freak is, he should respect the Gyrocopter. The Rocket Barrage damage output is insane if there's no creeps nearby to take some of it. We'll see.
Yep, and they're going to be blocking this creep wave back as much as possible. So Z-Freak, if he doesn't get a good block himself, could find himself getting zoned out very early on. Has no protective wards down near the bottom jungle as well, which is going to make his life pretty difficult. So we'll see what happens here. Earthshaker is going to be just around this middle lane for now. Going to already start stacking right from level 1. Derp plays that really like 6 position support when he's on this Earthshaker. We saw last game, 45 minutes in, no Blink Dagger, and that's where it can really hurt, but typically speaking, he gets his team like a really good start, and helps out his mid lane, his off lane, and finds some early kills. Just, it never goes his way.
Yeah, well, last game, Derp was on the Silencer, and he went Midas, so I don't know. It's hard to say.
No, he was the Earthshaker last game.
Are you sure? I thought it was Goody.
It was Goody on the Silencer.
Oh, really? So he will be on the Earthshaker 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
I'm confusing them now. They both have double Ds. Or, no, he's got 2 eyes. Damn it. Okay, I'm just confused. I'm just confused in general. All right, never mind. But my point is the same. I wonder how much of that is the Silencer having that Handamitis and taking a lot of farm, and how much of that is just his style where he really finds none. It's maybe a combination.
Yeah, it seems to be largely his style. Like he played Earthshaker both games the other day in the match like I cast with Dakota, and it was very much like just pure hard support, entirely selfless play. He's already stacked up the big camp twice. He's about to stack it for a second time. He's not missing a stack here, and he's just coming mid lane, throws a Fissure to help out the Queen of Pain, harass the Sniper, and he'll probably just rinse and repeat. if there's ever a kill that presents itself on the Axe, if Axe is going to think, okay, Earthshaker's stacking at mid lane, and then you catch him by surprise with a rotation.
Whoa, mid. Relic blinks to the high ground. Wants to man up onto Swindle here. Who's going to win the man fight? It'll be the pretty lady. The Succubus gets the first blood. Relic off to an aggressive start.
I wonder what Swindle's gone for this. Oh, mid lane will quickly say that in a second here. Nice visual will keep the Queen of Pain healthy against the hasted Axe.
Will it, though? Z-Freak on the wraparound. Okay, she moves into the trees, and he won't dive it.
So, Sniper went for a unorthodox build, 2 points in headshot, and I feel like he was going for this build, expecting Relic to be blinking forward aggressively on him, and he's like, okay, I'll catch him by surprise with all this bonus headshot damage when he's expecting a shrapnel, but it just it still was not enough.
It is an interesting change of pace, but it just, I mean, I know the first point in headshot is not good. The second point is where you start getting into the value. It's a big increase from 15 to 40, but how can you pass up shrapnel?
No, I think shrapnel is the way to go.
Yeah, it's just the slow in particular, the damage it does. If you have a shrapnel there, I don't think the Queen of Pain will even try to man up on you in that kind of back and forth where she's just standing on the high ground trading blow for blow. The shrapnel gives that extra edge. Even just the intimidation factor.
So lane state's looking pretty good now for Will. The Sniper getting kind of beat down and punished and bullied by the Queen of Pain. Safe lane farmers kind of neck and neck with each other, but we'll see what Complexity can do.
Look at this from Sleesel. He goes 2 points Rocket Barrage, but gets that first point in the homing missile. A great zoning tool against these kind of melee cores like this. Not really too much Z-Freak can do to deal with it. You can try to run away, move into the towers, let them do some damage, but this ability alone is enough for Sleesel to kind of make space for himself if it's just the Axe in his lane.
Yeah. Let's be a bit careful because it does chew through his mana pool pretty quickly, but I imagine we see like a Ring of Aquila as his probably first item after the phase boots, so we'll get that bit of mana regen. Even a bottle is possible. Bottle on Gyrocopter is something that can help sustain you in the lane and allow you to push the lane out, use that spam, and then you can just go check runes every now and then.
All right, mid lane. Not going as bad for Swindle as you would think. Quap is ahead, but he's still farming okay. 13 and 2 could be a lot worse.
You realize that he needs to start leveling up the shrapnel. Gets points at level 4 and level 5, so no more of this headshot nonsense.
Okay, smart play there. Derp rotating through and making sure his Quap is safe, but looking at the safe lane farmers, pretty even farm there. Sleesel is topping the charts, but not by much. Ziz still pretty much getting uncontested free farm. Mike, happy just a leech experience for now. He's gotten one last hit. So doesn't really have much in the way of items, but as we've talked about, it's more about those levels. You get that level 6, level 7, and that's when your adaptive strike starts getting a bit more scary.
So we're going to see Chen and Skyreth now smoke towards mid. Skyreth was helping the Axe kind of jungle a little bit. Actually, he took all of Axe. He took like 2 Mud Golems and the Centaur from the Axe. I don't think that was intentional, but Squee ends up with a ton of farm, and he's got all kinds of intel with double mantle on top of his Null Tally. This Skyreth is going to pack a punch. I think we'll definitely see him leveling up the Arcane Bolt at level 4 and 5 with this build. Yeah, looking for a kill on Mike at top.
I think he must be. I don't think I've ever seen a Skywrath build quite like this, especially not prioritizing boots. And they actually get this kill on Mike there. There's a point in the Ancient
Radiant's
Seal.
top tower is under attack.
Okay, Mike will walk into it. Now silenced up. Adaptive Strike comes out, but there's also an ensnare. Mike will be able to survive the duration of the silence, but Lycan, he's in ultimate form. They'll chase down Mike, and Squee actually gets the kill before Ziz can get a hold of him. So that extra damage from the Skywrath seems to be paying off, and now, pardon me, Wheel will start to rotate over. They want to defend this tower and punish this dive. If they stick around, looks like they'll only be able to get the Skywrath. Squee moves into the trees, and he is sandwiched.
Holds on to the TP. Good to not just try and
I think the right call.
Force it out, and yeah, he didn't have a chance to get away once he got scouted by the fissure.
It was a little more sneaky maybe, but they saw him run right into that cubby, and they know he's got no exit.
Spent his gold, or maybe just bought his boots after he died, but either way, he's got boots, double mantle, and the Null Talisman, so he's in a pretty good position as a support Skyreth mage.
Worthy
definitely.
Radiant's middle tower.
Gyro's still getting a lot of space down bottom, and him and Queen of Pain both farming very nicely. Relic, so you have coming out here, probably just power treads on the way. Yep, certainly so. And Bottle being redelivered here. Smoke rotation from the 2 wheel supports. Goody and Derp. What are you up to?
Swindle just the 1 point and take aim. He's going to get completely caught out here.
They're hungry for some melon. Even a sonic wave for that. That is some sniper hate right there.
Radiant Ward, they see everything on the high ground there. They've got good vision and nothing really for the Dire side as far as spotting out the high ground. It was a smoke regardless, and now they get the ward coming in. But that gets spotted getting planted by Squee. They know exactly where that is, so if they want to de-ward that, they can do so with relative ease here.
And now Lycan picks up his medallion. Bassi online as well. Probably looking towards that Vlad's coming up next, but most likely a sign that early Roche will be on the docket here for Complexity. The medallion makes it nice and easy. They will just move into the pit and take it out with a smoke. Sleezel now moving into the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. There will be a wraparound to try and contest this. Z-Freak going shopping. Gets himself his tranquil boots and will come from the backside. There is a sniper nearby. Shrapnel to get things started. Z-Freak will walk in. Berserker's calling Sleezel, but Earthspike is there. Now the follow-up as Skywrath comes on in. Arcane Bolt gets charged up. And there's the Assassinate. Sleezel down.
Goody likely to go down as well. Sleezel, these Arcane Bolts really pack a punch. Goody, one more right click I think will do it. This gets him low. Not quite. There we go. Another Arcane Bolt. Skywrath will find it.
Looking for a denying to the Ancients there, but can't turn the corner fast enough. And great rotation from Complexity. Z-Freak with this very cheeky play to move around the backside, get his boots for the movement speed, and they were really not expecting an axe to be coming from that direction. Completely caught that gyro off guard.
They got the tier 1 top tower. Was denied by Mike, but it's still just towers being pressured. Mike being kept up there when maybe his team could do it with some help at bottom lane, and there's suddenly pressure on bottom lane on top of this. So it's the Queen of Pain who needs to maybe rotate if they want to defend this, but Lions TPing mid seems to suggest they're not even going to properly defend this bottom lane, which is actually seeing Complexity back off, so they're not going to commit to this.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Invisibility rune? No, he pings it, and it looks like
denied
he got
by a wolf,
yeah,
I think.
I think it was. It's hard to tell when you're right up like that, but nothing bottled. So Swindle will go down bottom, and he'll go ahead and grab his bounty rune. Swindle just going for some stats items right now. Power treads, wraith bands. He just wants to be able to live through a rotation from the Quap if he does happen to get stunned up by one of these supports who are smoked up in the mid lane. They're ready to fight. Relic on the high ground. Will get initiated on, but blinks back before he gets silenced, and they go right in onto Squee with a stun. Derp there with a fissure, blocks out Squee's exit path. Relic goes in, hits him with a scream, but now in some trouble. Swindle channels the ulti, not enough for the kill. Quap able to sip her bottle, and she will live on 80 HP.
Bottom lane now, Sleezel pressuring that. Here comes the flank from Z-Freak. No TP. If he had a TP support, maybe goes for the coL, but he'll get pushed away and hit by a home missile.
Yeah, no way he's going to have the damage to get this gyro into the threshold. Now the rotation from Complexity into the Roche pit.
Not going to get scattered out, I imagine. This is probably going to catch everyone by surprise because they see Swindle mid, they see the axe at bottom, and it's enough that you think, okay, yeah, Lycan can solo Roshan, but that's just you never know when it's going to happen.
And it's just so fast now. Oh, Swindle, as he go down here, there is a Sonic Wave. One more auto attack from Quap ought to do it. All heal from Chen. Buys Swindle a little bit of time. Doesn't want to blink here and doesn't need it. Has the Scream to find the kill, but now Roche has gone down. Aegis on the Lycan. He'll go into ult form. Relic blinks back, but the Wolf will chase him down. He's speedy at 650, but he gets path blocked. Oh my, now a stun from Goody. Will it cost him 40 HP? Spit on him and he's dead. Ziz trying to decide if he wants to dive or not, and he will back off.
Middle tower is under attack.
Throw away the freshly picked up Aegis. Maybe summon some wolves and have him look to chase down the line. Goody's still nearby. They're looking to defend this one. Gen Creep's going to be used to kind of cover the retreat here as they take out some of that Gen Creep army.
Yeah, Complexity with the right idea, though. Pressuring two lanes at once. Z-Freak and Squee will be down bottom, putting pressure on that tier 1. They'll find a tower kill there. The glyph has already been used, so not much Wheel can do about it.
Z-Freak looking like we'll get a much faster blink this game. Last game it was like a 14-minute blink maybe, and 10 minutes in he's pretty much there after this creep wave or maybe another neutral camp or two. So he's in a great position as far as his farm goes.
Relic looking for the fast Orchid. 10 minutes in, has the first Oblivion Staff, another 500 gold, looking to be on point for a decent timing here. Like 15 minutes or so is that kind of standard good timing. Before 20 minutes is still acceptable, much past that, and well, that Orchid probably not going to give you nearly as much utility as you were hoping for when you committed to picking it up. Z-Freak one creep camp away now, so this will be like an 11:30 blink dagger timing.
That's pretty nice. He's
Yeah.
gonna be a happy camper. Gets the double stack, and this is just gonna set up kills on heroes like the Queen of Pain, who are trying to find that good Orchid timing and maybe denied doing so because 1 or 2 kills. You've got the follow-up from a Mystic Flare. They've got great abilities to fight around the axe principle. You can throw shrapnels, assassinates. It's gonna be very easy for Complexity users to find kills. Will tried to smoke towards her in jungle at Cat's the Axe. They're about like 2 seconds late. He gets the blink from the side shop and hasn't. He's gonna walk into him though.
At least he's got his Blink Dagger. Adaptive Strike will hit him with a big girthy stun here. Follow-ups from the Finger after the Earth Spike Fissure. Absolutely nothing Z-Freak could do. But buying the Blink Dagger first, it only stings so much.
Good news is that we'll know it's up too, so as soon as Axe respawns, they'll be ready for that first Blink Dagger gank to come out.
Yeah, that's a good point as well.
But it would have been so... If they just got there a second sooner, they kill the Axe before he even buys it.
Unfortunate timing. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Shen and Lycan getting some of that Zeus strat going on. Lots of creeps moving into this tier 2 tower. Lift will get used straight away. Relic and Squee bump into each other as Queen of Pain uses the invisibility rune. Now Ziz, Aegis still in tow, gets hit by an adaptive. He'll be stunned up behind the tower, channels the ulti. Now just tries to head for the hills. Sleazel comes in with a rocket barrage. And now drops the missile to try and chase him down. Relic all the while trying to bring down Zizou, but the Hand of God comes out. Zizou lives. But he's completely stunned up here. Second will not connect. The call down's almost enough for the kill. The rocket will chase him. Now he goes back into wolf form, and down he goes. A noble effort to get the wolves out. He will come back to life, but a great hold from Wheel, showing a sign of life here.
That 10-second cooldown. I thought the co-op was dead, then Mike suddenly has another stun. Like, this 10-second cooldown on Adaptive Strike is just insane.
The uptime is ridiculous. It stuns for 4 seconds, cooldown is 10.
Is a great way of dealing with a Lycan, because yeah, he's got this max movement speed, but you can keep him locked down for like 50% duration here with a 4.25 second stun on a 10-second cooldown.
My oh my, that Queen of Pain just evaporates in the mid lane as Z-Freak jumps in with a Mystic Flare to follow up. Now Derp fissures, but he's in a lot of trouble. Squee low on mana, but doesn't even really matter here. Assassinate gets channeled from long range, gets off the slam dunk. They get the kill on Axe to make it a 1-for-1. Now Squee stunned up as he gets to the high ground. Sleazel coming around the backside. Rocket Barrage finds yet another kill. Swindle hit by the adaptive. Mike making this one possible. He's got no out here. Quickly buys his drums before he dies, so even if Swindle goes down, won't be the end of the world. Shrapnel helping him out. He gets the kill on line, but Mike again
fight Mike. Mike's
hits
out of
him with an
mana.
adaptive.
Mike's in some trouble here. He's got a Soul Ring soon, but the Assassinate's going to be enough.
Bada boom, bada bing. The sniper lives, and these Wraith bands already paying for themselves. Well, one of them's been a Ring of Aquila, but
these stats, this has been the build for the sniper this game to recover from his bad early game. And creating space, like I'm going to press the top tier 2 tower, does get lift up. And I imagine Ziz will be forced out of this one with the rotations coming from Wheels, Queen of Pain.
Relic 3-1-1. All things considered, he's had a pretty good game on the quad this go-around. Still trying to get the gold for that Orchid. This is just so difficult to deal with. Seems like there's pressure in 2 lanes at once, pretty much constantly. coL will take a fight in one place, and there's either a Chen or a Lycan or someone else split pushing down towers. 3 tier 1s killed on the side of Wheel, and Wheel has only taken out one themselves. This tier 1 in the bottom lane. A long Roche respawn, though, here, GoDz.
Yeah, that's not going to be your best news for Complexity, who have the Lycan on their side, but they're kind of still looking for a lot of big items here. They can do this, go for the smoke play here with the Axe Scarith, find pickoffs wherever they can. Lycan can still find good farm in the jungle at the Ancients, so it's not like they're wanting to push high ground just yet. It does allow them to take maybe the tier 2 towers or a 5-man a bit more, but there's still other objectives they can take while Roshan and Aegis isn't online for them. And last time they had the Aegis, didn't even really amount to too much.
Mid lane, adaptive onto Ziz. They'll follow up with some call downs. There's going to be a wraparound on the line on the backside. Ziz will get off the ultimate. Now we'll see initiation onto Goody. Z-Freak starts it off, and the Sonic Wave will only clip the bird, I think. All heal from Chen comes out. Now Sleazel will just try to TP on the high ground, but they've got the damage. Down he goes. A close call, but it's a 2-fer. Z-Freak finds Derp as well as he's trying to make the retreat. Assassinate flying in, and Z-Freak, if he can close the gap, will have a culling blade with Derp's name on it. Come on, little Derp. Where are you? And boom! I did not time that right. That's unfortunate. He didn't even...
He didn't want to waste the mana.
Okay, all right. You got to kill him in style, Z-Freak. You got to make him feel the pain.
He wants the mana for the next fight. Now he still has a blink coL with the dunk. You know?
That's a fair point. A fair point. But a big trade for Complexity. 3-0. They get a tier 2 tower out of it to boot.
It does take some discipline not to use that play.
It really does. I'm looking for, like, I want to see the blood splatter. Come on.
99% of pub players use the dunk there, and even I would say 80% of pro players use the dunk there.
Oh, yeah. The style points. That's Z-Freak playing very, very controlled. He just goes over to the side shop, right-clicks a Blade Mail, so now he's beefing up a little bit. Plenty of return damage. Just in time for the Orchid on Queen of Pain to be picked up.
Yeah, good timing from your co-op. Relic's had a solid game. He's kind of been the one to keep up as far as farm goes. It's not been really the... Normally you see Sleazel and like his Jug, his Troll, top of the net worth for the majority of the game, but even game 1 he was kind of like number 3, number 4, and he's getting caught out of mid lane. There's your axe. coL squeeze, though, has been caught out by a Sentry. He's going to go down. There was no Mystic Flare. They needed the Mystic Flare to bring that for the axe.
And they have the finger also. Ends up being a double kill for Derp on the Earthshaker.
That was huge for Mike. He got the stun on the Skywrath before the Mystic Flare came out.
Yeah, that Sentry Ward making the whole thing possible. Now Zizu, initiated on by Relic. Mike spare, one adaptive, and it yields a kill. And they'll clear out Shen's army as well. Looks like they'll turn that Dark Troll Summoner into a fish. Finish him off, but hey, like we talked about all the while, Ziz, he's just split pushing. Lycan gets another tower after they take that successful fight.
So Gyro's going to be going straight into a BKB. A lot of physical damage on this dire side. You've got Lycan, Sniper, and Axe all with physical damage. Axe with an initiation that goes through the BKB. It's not going to be a fun Gyrocopter game. You've got Chen, who's going to mech now, Hand of God to negate the AoE damage from cooldown and flak. I mean, we're kind of theory crafting a lot of those potential 5th pick carries, and I mean, Gyrocopter's just one of that came up, and I don't know if there was anything better, but it's definitely feeling like Gyrocopter's not going to be able to offer a whole lot this game.
No, definitely not. I mean, Gyro is not really that popular right now. The most recent successful Gyro game I've seen is that one where Zai went for the Aghanims Refresher build in that really clowny secret game maybe a month ago or so. And I know Silent likes to play it every so often. We see that pop out as kind of like one of his pocket strat niche pick type things, but he just has this weird curve where super late game, you've got Flat Cannon, does huge damage, one of the best rapier carriers there is, but this is the stage of the game where he just feels underwhelming. Rocket Barrage damage starts to fall off, Homing Missile isn't nearly as scary, and he just wants to hunker down and farm. Even once he gets the BKB, you still have this damage of or still have this issue of a carry who doesn't really do much damage in the mid game.
And it's hard for him to find the farm in the map. If they can stack jungle and ancients, it's one thing. They've got a couple stacks, and a double stack in the ancients or triple stack, but it's not easy or efficient farm for him. With a just phase BKB, he's not got that Helm the Dominator or that right-click damage, even like a just casual Yasha to give him that easy farm.
Yeah. The synergy that we've seen, though, is just the setup with the adaptive. We've seen a couple fights now where they set up on one and then the call down is pretty much a sure thing. So there is a cute natural synergy there, but I don't know that it's
the other big worry
really
is
enough.
Wheeler. We talked about Morphling kind of becoming more of a support. Three bottom net worth heroes is Earthshaker, Lion, and Morph, and this is not anything. Not even trying to flame Mike here. You know, we'll take our jabs at Mike, but this is just the nature of the offlane Morphling. Not a hero that gets much farm or really feels like a core.
Speaking of farm, though, Relic just finding pick-off after pick-off. Adaptive from Mike right onto Z-Freak to make the retreat. It'll be a clean kill on the Skywrath Mage. Not a high-value target, but good kill nonetheless, as now Quab moving into that Aghanim Scepter. I think a really smart choice here to deal with all this split push. You can just spam out that ultimate to clear waves and deal with the zoo that this Lycan is bringing out. Sleesel will get the farm down bottom with that call down, clearing out the Necro too.
Give him some catch-up.
Yeah, that's nice. Can't complain with that.
Mike's been in the right place a lot, though, with these stuns. Again, at top lane, just to help cover the Queen of Pain's retreat. If Quap gets caught out by a Blink Call there, even with a haste rune, could go down during that duration.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's going to force this Lycan to go BKB after the Necro Book, I imagine. Otherwise, it's just going to get plagued by the Adaptive Strike. Problem is, though, it's an instant stun, so you almost have to just use it preemptively just to siege a tower, kind of like we saw last game with the Spirit Bear.
Illusion.
We saw that. I was casting with Dakota earlier in this actual qualifier here in Phase 2. A troll picking up a BKB, and if you're fast with the adaptive, you can blow him up before he even gets the chance to use it. That's actually not that uncommon with this kind of a build. That's one of the things that makes it so scary, is the lack of cast point on the adaptive. So BKB definitely not the end-all be-all against this kind of strategy. Complexity, though, they will try to group up as 5, smoked up, and looks like Ziz will actually go towards the Roche pit. So this could be all just a distraction to make some space here for your Lycan.
Yeah. Well, Derp is so low. He's trying to finish off this Blink Dagger. It's just Shrapnel Assassinate, though.
Swindle's lining it up right now. He's doing the math. He's thinking, is this worth it?
It's like, this is going to be bait. But this hero's top. He could have. That was a freebie.
Well, instead they find Sleesel. Z-Freak goes in. This is equally as good.
That's why they didn't go in the Earthshaker.
They take the stack. Yeah, exactly right.
Actually massive.
This is a huge stack, too. It's at least a 3. I think it's a 4 stack.
And they had vision of that, I think, earlier with the Lycan Wolf. He did resummon them to finish off Roshan, but he was using the Lycan Wolf to constantly scout out that Ancient stack and keep tabs of when the Gyrocopter went to farm it.
Well, and that whole time, so Lycan gets Roche, they steal the Radiance Ancients, and they kill their carry. That is just the trifecta of mid-game victory there for Complexity. It doesn't really get much sweeter than that.
And they're going to gear up to take these last outer, well, the last outer tower. Tier 2 at bottom lane. May even be time to go for the high ground here. They've got the Necro 3, got the Aegis, they've got the mech, and the hand they've got on the Chen. Everything they could hope for is pretty much online, ready to go. Gyrocopter just with a BKB to try and defend high ground with.
Yeah, just falling further and further behind. Now about 50% behind that of the Lycan. With the Aegis, it looks like Complexity do want to continue pushing. Glyph was not used for that tower, so we'll have that to try and hold the high ground with. Call down connects on most of the creep wave. Quite a few heroes of Complexity, and they will retreat as they see Wheel making movements back to their base. So happy just to force a reaction out, and they will just venture through the Radiant jungle as they head back to friendly territory.
Looks like a few items going to be coming out. Manta style for swindles. Your Chen just has the money for a point booster. Your Axe had 3k gold, so they say, look, we got this Aegis for 5 minutes. We could push now where you've got this big gold lead, like 8,000-9,000 gold lead, but if you're not spending the money, it's not really a gold lead you're seeing take place in a fight. So buy your items, then make it good.
Freak in a little bit of trouble. All heal from Chen, not enough to stay alive. Queen of Pain gets another one up on the scoreboard. Killing spree now for Relic, 6-1 and 3.
That's a handy little pick off here. That's the instant stun from Adaptive Strike. You don't get a chance to pop a Blade Mail. You can't pop your BKBs. Just great initiations from Mike. Goes for the Blink Dagger as well, which seems like a really good item. You sometimes see the Yules first, but this Blink Dagger seems like the right item for this game.
Yeah, it does. I've seen the Blink first come out a couple of times. It seems very, very potent when you want to try to counteract BKBs. That's the big one because you can just come out of nowhere, blow them up, and it's just so hard to react to. The Yule's also great. Same kind of a deal you can set up, and when they come back down, hit them with the adaptive. I reckon that'll be Mike's next item.
It's good because you can blink him with a stun and use the waveform for damage rather than like the waveform as like a mobility item. Because you often need that waveform damage. It's a pretty big nuke.
What is it, like 250, something like that? No, 325. Yeah. Wow, it is big. Okay. And once you get towards that super luxury late game, you can start looking at something like an E-Blade as a potential option to get some shotgun loaded up. Also, depending on your team. When you have a line on your team, I always think that E-Blade is somewhat viable.
Somewhat. It's hard because you're a strength morph, so your E-Blade itself isn't doing much damage. Neither is your Adaptive Strike.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I like the late game Dagon because that's like
maybe the Dagon's straight
damage.
It really depends on your team. If it's a team that can benefit from the E-Blade, it can.
Lion Quap sure as hell does too. So
yeah, so we'll see. I think that's definitely less common, and it's just uncommon the strength morphling gets that kind of farm. To be honest.
It had to go really late, and Mike's not exactly he's getting 0 kills because he's just the setup.
Yeah.
Unless he's timing last hits with waveform and KSing or kill securing, or whatever you want to call it. He's not getting the farm.
Man, they are staying on the aggressive here, though. Look at Squee. Triple null tally with now a Void Stone and Arcane Boots. This guy is mana'd out. 1,300 mana pool right now. Relic, mid lane, jumped on by Z-Freak. Berserker's Call is there. They've got the damage to get him into Culling Blade range, and it's another one for Z-Freak here in the mid. Again, nice setup on the Axe, and that's a gem in his inventory. So they're just moving around, taking map control, and finding pickoffs when they can.
Corp does just barely have buyback money. It's just above the threshold because it looks like that push is coming now with Aegis in hand. They've got Lycan at the bottom and the rest of the team kind of at the mid lane. We'll see where they look to group up.
Yes, sir. TP back from the gyro. 1 minute on the Aegis. So Zyz will have to be a little bit careful, mindful of that timing, but can get aggressive here at the beginning of this siege. Looks like he'll go bottom, and the rest of Complexity will siege the mid lane. Swindle on the low ground, abusing the range of the sniper. So just keep chipping at this tower.
Yeah, they got 4 mid, 1 bottom. They're forcing out at least one hero to keep coming bottom lane. It's Mike spamming that Adaptive Strike. He's waveforming through and everything. Actually gets the Necro Book. That's a nice little 200 gold pickup from Mike with the waveform so he doesn't take damage. So
yeah,
nice bit of play there. That's the Necro 3 on cooldown, and Zyz will be kind of forced back even though he's got the Aegis and isn't really at risk of dying. He just isn't able to push high ground with Mike being a pest.
They do a little bit of damage to the tier 3 in the mid lane, get it down to about 2/3 HP, but Complexity playing this one very cautious. Look at the gold graph, and they are continuing to hold their lead, but it is plateaued just a bit.
It feels like they just need more item-wise because pushing high ground is so challenging, even with like a sniper Lycan. Lycan needs the AC with a BKB, I want to say, just so we can go BKB, run up to the high ground, just attack, attack, attack. And Sniper needs some right-click damage to go with the Mantic Drums, so something like a MKB, Daedalus, maybe going to come out from him. But we got smoke from Will.
Yep. Mike will rotate through the jungle, leading the charge. Looks like he could
Dire's
find
middle tower
Swindle
is under
Melons.
attack.
Adaptive will connect and blink forward. Zyori gets his Berserker's call up, but doesn't connect on anyone. Sonic Wave on 2. Follow-up dunk from the Derp. And that's going to be 2 kills coming out for Wheel Gaming, but it's not over yet. Zyz on the back line. Channels the ulti. And looks like he'll just be able to run away.
He's scared of Mike, man. These adaptive strikes, the death of him. So he backs off. He doesn't go chasing him with the shapeshift to try to finish off Gyro, but does force out a BKB, so down to 9 seconds now. That was your 10-second Sleazel BKB. Sleazel picking up an ulti all.
I was just going to ask you about that before the fight. He did go back to the HOD as well, but I wouldn't say Manta, but why wouldn't you get the Yasha first?
I feel like this is just, I don't know, Scotty's just such a popular carry item, but I've never really seen on a Gyrocopter.
Yeah.
It's
Scotty Gyro.
It's okay. It gives you stats if he feels like he needs to stay alive and be able to man fight the Lycan a bit better. It's okay. But
I feel like there's no way it's a Lincoln's, and the Scythe feels very unlikely also. They need somebody to do damage. It either has to be Manta or Scotty.
Yeah, it's one of the two. I'm kind of torn about the idea of the Scotty. It may actually be an okay option on Gyro. It's just not something I've really seen before.
Yeah, same here. In mid lane, Quap just spams out that ulti, kills the whole Chen army. It's a couple of dead birds, a couple of dead centaurs. It's your power, the Aghanims there.
Is under attack.
Quap is feeling pretty healthy right now.
Big
with
farm
a lot
for
of
Relic.
farm, yeah. The Ags Orchid with 2k on top. Lycan's still ahead. Has the AC now, and still got to imagine that BKB's coming up. Mike's just been such a playmaker on this small lane.
Yeah. Zyz has just been all about the rat this game. 1-0-1. 220 last hits. He's farmed very well, but
Not cashing in the fantasy points, man. You know, the kills, the assists is where you get the big. It's like what, 1 point per 100 CS. So
is that what it is?
I think it's something like that.
Oh, goody. 2 points.
You get 2 points there, but you're better off going for the players that get kills. Yeah.
Relic seems to be the value pick. Every game, even if his team loses, he tends to have a pretty high KDA.
Z-Freak's done pretty well with the axe as well. I guess he's got the deaths to go with it, but
See, Z-Freak's kind of like Zai. On games when they're ahead, sometimes he just balls out of control and has these ridiculous scores, but in your average game, they play that space creator, initiator, where often they're the ones sacrificing their lives for the betterment of a team fight.
yeah.
So it's a little 50-50 with the offlaners.
Derp's picked up this game though. He's got a good time on his Blink Dagger. He was actually allocated more farm over the Goody line, but even Goody's working an Ag Scepter. Not going for a Blink or a 4-star. They've got 2 Blink Initiators in Morphling and Earthshaker, so probably feeling just some extra damage. And
That's interesting, though. You don't see Lion Ags very often. You almost always see him rush the Blink Dagger, and even outside of that, you still look towards mobility items like Force Staff, even Yule's just utility-type stuff.
I remember casting, like going years back to like MLG's first Full Sail event. Goody was playing in that, known as Fanasoyan back then, and me and Ben used to just love all his clowny-ass item builds. He would go for the most bizarre item builds all the time, and it was just always kind of a crack-up to see what was the next new thing that he came up with.
Was he like a lesser-established Bone 7?
Even like more, he'd go even funkier items
More
than
off the
Bone
wall,
7,
huh?
yeah.
Okay.
You'd just be like, what is going on here with some of his hero picks that he would do, like picking like last game was a Silencer, not entirely unconventional. It felt like a bit out of place that game, but
Yeah. Well, things slowing down a little bit here. Complexity resting on their laurels a bit, maybe waiting out for this next Roshan, which has respawned. So if they want to move into that, it could happen pretty soon here. Zizu looking for the Aghanims, but still pretty far off. And Swindle doesn't take behest of your advice here, and will go BKB next item. So very tanky, 1600 HP, but lacking a bit on the damage output.
I think they're going to try just 5-man take racks with Aegis, Cheese, and triple BKB. This is like they haven't even used a single BKB, and suddenly Wheel are going to do with 3 of them. So Wheel, their way of winning a fight is going to come down to getting a pick off on a hero, one of these core heroes, before they manage to pop it. Like get the adaptive strike, blow them up using a finger sonic wave. Because otherwise, I think the just BKB brute force down your base is going to be too much to deal with. They've got to make a jump on someone.
Wow, nobody wants the cheese. Okay, Z-Freak goes back for it. He's hungry. And Aegis will go to Swindle.
I wonder if they're going to push right away here. They haven't got the Necro 3. They won't have Lycan's BKB. He's about 1,000 gold short. May not even go. I think Lycan, the other option for him is to go for a Heart of Taras. Having raw HP is pretty good for pushing, but BKB is the more kind of like the safe option.
Yeah, the hard on Lycan is kind of like Chen getting the Ags, where you can just go for fights, pick a little bit at the towers, and then just back up, regen, and they'll look to rinse and repeat to reinitiate.
High ground defense is so good for the Wheel draft. They're throwing flax, cooldowns, fissures, yada yada.
Gyro and
Sonic Wave with
Earthshaker
Ags.
alone are really good. And then you've got this Adaptive Strike on top of that with a Queen of Pain who has an Aghanims. Huge damage that they can do in these little corridors here.
You can see they get the Aegis, they just back off. I mentioned the Lycan. His next item, probably the BKB, the one thing they're mostly missing.
He's close, too.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he needs to sell his medallion anyway, so I think he pretty much has it if he can manage to get to a shop to sell that.
Yeah, I want to get BOTs pretty soon here also. And the Yule Scepter up on Squee. Always a big item pickup on the Skywrath Mage. Already speedy, so makes him super fast. Great mana regen and gives you pretty good setup there for your Mystic Flare. Just big damage.
Skywrath needs to try get that quick silence on Mike when he blinks in. And I don't think you can silence him before a stun happens, but you want to silence him before he waveforms out. If you can manage that and then try take Mike out of the fight, he is a key kill for Complexity because of the spam ability of that Adaptive Strike.
Yeah. Gyrocopter. He did go for the Scotty. This is definitely a rarity. You don't see it too often.
It's kind of a similar idea to what we're seeing from the Snipers build, where it's like, look, I'm not going to have the most burst. I'm not like a glass cannon, but I'm going to stay alive long enough, so over time I'll deal more damage just because I'm staying alive.
That's true.
But
and there's your BKB on the like.
His last item has, well, his next item I feel like has got to be damage output. I don't even think he wants to upgrade the Satanic until he has like an MKB or something first.
Yeah. MKB, Daedalus, something along those lines.
Get some rapiers coming on. It's a Gyrocopter.
That's true. I mean, this is elimination game. You're not quite in Hail Mary mode yet, but it's getting there. Complexity with 12k net worth, 10k experience lead. You got to be thinking about the rapier as an option at some point this game if things don't start to turn around, because it's Wheel that are on the defensive. All they can do right now is defend, and a surprise rapier is a great way to go a 5-0 all of a sudden and catch Complexity off guard.
They're 5 mana now, Complexity. Triple BKB. They've got the Aegis Gs for a couple of minutes. They're not going to be able to take a lot of stabs at this high ground. They've only got 2 minutes to do so with Aegis, but they're going to just chip and poke away using Swindle. Shrapnel for vision. Sniper will just pelt away bit by bit. Even if it's a split push, well, split push threat from your Lycan. Can't really just summon the Necrobooks and put it on the tower because there's so much AoE. They'll just wave clear the Necrobooks and take that bit of damage. Good play. Mike's just going to keep doing this. Just keep spamming Adaptive Strike on Swindle. They're not using it to engage, just using it to buy time for the Aegis to expire.
Oh, it's working so far.
Complexity, either they have to say, look, we're not getting racks now, or they've got to just make a ballsy play and go. And right now it looks like they're kind of going for the in-between, where it's like, let's just poke, but we're not going to get racks because this Aegis is going to expire.
Yeah, their dream here is the split push. Have the Lycan in one lane, have the other 4 in mid, and kind of take 2 fights at once. It seems like Wheel's not going to let that happen. Z-Freak wants to come in, and not going to find it.
They need the pickoff to really push. A pickoff on Mike would be your ideal target. If you get a Blink Call Mystic Flare on him, he has not got money for a buyback, so pushing gets a lot easier with Mike dead, but hey, pushing is about to get a lot harder because 1 minute left on Aegis.
Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. If you're Complexity here, they've done just a bit of damage to this tower. It was at about 1,000, now down to 700. Just some chip here and there.
They are probably feeling confident they've got the better late game is the main thing. So they're thinking, like, let's just chip away. If they make a mistake, get caught out of position, we take it. They get the pick off and then they can push, but
we're not farming, they're not farming, so we'll just keep control up in their base. They see Quap use her ulti down bottom. Now they decide to go. Glyph is available. They'll use it straight away. Tier 3 tower still alive. Call down doing a lot. Derp almost sized to the Mystic Flare, but does live through it. All heal from Chen and BKB's used. Complexity break through the Tier 3 tower. Now start to go to work on the Glyphless barracks. Right in it goes Derp, but up in the air he goes. Falls before he can get off the Echo Slam. Great Yule Scepter usage there, and Z-Freak with a Berserker's Call on 2, misses the slam dunk on Goody, but still finds the kill. Not much Mike can do. Derp buys back. Echo Slam on the whole team. The follow-up is here. Relic gets his ulti back. Huge damage. A triple kill for Swindle on the back line.
His Aegis expires
they'll finally bring him down. Oh, no. The bittersweet timing that all carry players fear comes true for Swindle. A 5-man wipe, and Wheel repel with their barracks still standing.
That is the dream for Team Will. Did cost them a buyback on their Earthshaker, but that's the only buyback they had to use, and that was the big play. Derp's Echo Slam on 4, followed up by a Fissure. That was the game-winning play.
Sonic Wave. That was...
The timing on that Sonic Wave cooldown just was magical. That was
That really
what we were
was.
waiting for.
And it ended up being a huge play from Relic. He started that whole thing off by using his ulti down bottom to clear out the creep wave. As soon as they saw it on cooldown, Complexity went for it. But 40 seconds, man, it passes like the snap of a finger when you're in a fight like that. And, oh, God, the Aegis expiring just seconds beforehand. That is hard to watch.
Dire's middle tower
Now
is
looking
under
like
attack.
a little more likely we could see a game 3 at least. Still a huge net worth lead for Complexity, but
I feel like the
Real
Aegis
striking
maybe
back.
should have been on the Lycan, because the sniper just right-clicking away from low ground to high ground, missing onto the tower, didn't really give him enough damage to put. With the Lycan having oh, Relic meanwhile mid lane.
is he dead here? Z-Freak
boy.
follows up. That's a dead quap.
That's a
She just picked up the Scythe of Vice, but not even getting a chance to use it here. Mike makes a replicate. We'll leave it way deep in enemy territory, but not even going to need to use it here. He'll click back and be all right.
Dire's
push
middle
back the other
tower
way.
has
At least try to
fallen.
force out that Queen of Pain buyback, I feel now.
And the Morphling does
But
still
everyone
finish
back
off
alive.
the tower. All right. Complexity should be able to force this buyback here without an Echo Slam. Well, actually, it's up in 20 seconds.
Without Glyph, though, they could also try and just BKB and focus down the buildings. Gem on Mike will de-ward here. He gets thrown up in the air. They get the silence on him. Mike could be in some trouble. They do so, and uh-oh. Down goes your Axe Mike Morphling.
He does have a buyback, though. He'll use it. So will the Quap. Finger of Death comes into play. Brings down the Skywrath Mage. Z-Freak in pretty deep. BK beyond, but it's not keeping him alive. Swindle on the back line. Hit by an Adaptive. Relic drops the Sonic Wave, and the Sniper falls. Z-Freak, he can be headed to the grave as well. And he will. Gets hexed up. Even had a homing missile to chase him down. They'll clear out these Necro units. Use that in the tree line. It's Zizou. They're pinging him out. Can he get out in time? Yes, he can. Another great hold from Wheel, a 1 for 3, or pardon me, a 2 for 3, but they have to use 2 buybacks. Well, it's sort of a Quap bought back from the death earlier. A weird exchange.
Yeah, they force out the quad buyback, but coming at the cost of 2 of their core heroes doesn't seem like it was the best fight. Bottom lane, Relic gonna get the pick up from Zizou, it looks like.
Yeah, he'll have his ult up in just a second here, and that should be enough to secure the kill. And yep, there it is. As long as he doesn't whiff it, and he does connect. So nicely done. That'll leave 4 in the grave now for Complexity. I don't think you can really say that was worth it for Complexity, but now with 3 enemy heroes with buyback on cooldown, if they want to try to take a fight and maybe put some pressure on the base, this could put them in a prime position to try and seal this one out. It will be a faster Roche respawn up in about a minute.
So they can get the Aegis and Cheese and potentially go for a push with these buybacks on cooldown. That could be the value push. The melee racks at mid is going to heal itself up over time, so that's going to be a bit of a pain for Complexity. They're going to have to go through the HP once again. There's probably going to be a Glyph back by the time they go for that push, but I feel like the Lycan needs to be the one with the Aegis, because he can just, you want him on the front lines. Yeah, he's going to get Adaptive Strike and all that, but just pop the BKB, not for the team fight, but for the siege itself, so you don't get Adaptive Strike, and then just really just prioritize that high ground siege. They scout out Wheel here with this Lycan Wolf, though. They know where this Morphling is and where the Gyro is.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go chase him.
Ready to have a nice ward here on the high ground, give me some vision of the shop. Hoping to catch someone out, but not quite able to do so. Roche coming up in a matter of seconds here. Lycan Wolf may actually expire right before he comes up. Yeah, just about 5 seconds short. That's a little unfortunate. Both teams will kind of start the Roshan dance around the pit. And we'll see this kind of stalemate. Who will be the first to venture in the pit? I don't think either team really wants to go in there without some kind of a pick-off. Both teams are pretty good when fighting in small spaces.
If you're grouping up for that Sonic Wave cooldown fissure, it's going to go bad. But Complexity, if they do go for Roshan, it'll be just a Lycan in the pit. I don't even think Sniper wants to be attacking, because otherwise he's grouping up. And if you catch Sniper and Lycan with a fissure or an impale or just lockdown, it goes really bad. So it'll probably be just a solo Lycan in the pit and everyone else spread around it. So I think Complexity have a slight advantage around the Roche pit, because they can position themselves such that the AoE lockdown of Earthshaker, the cooldown, the Sonic Wave aren't catching multiple heroes. They haven't scouted Roche just yet. We'll get scouted out by a Morphling Replicate, though.
As he denies the bounty rune. There you go. All right. Well, it looks like the Sniper will go into damage now. He's got the Demon Edge for probably an MKB. Is that what's coming over? Yeah, there it is. Javelin's on the way. So Swindle, all of a sudden, hitting quite hard compared to what he was in that last fight.
Yep.
Gyro, he went for a butterfly. So, okay, great news for Complexity.
Yeah, that's a hand. Well, I guess the MKB, yeah, being already up, that Swindle's definitely already a pseudo counter. Lycan, not sure if I want to go for that the MKB.
I think
He's not often like actually managing to get on top. He's getting kited around, stunned, locked down. He just needs ways to either do burst damage quickly to structures or to stay alive with
refresher,
HP.
dude. Refresh that Necro, refresh that BKB.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to do your
I don't
next
think he'll
item.
get
Maybe
it.
your last item.
Yeah, I'm being a little bit facetious, but I do think it is viable on Lycan having that double BKB. You can't do 2 Necro units at once, but as soon as they die, you just refresh, summon them right again, and it's effectively double.
I think it's a good 6 item, and if not 6 item, of course it's a 7 natural 7 item.
Oh, Roshan goes down though. Aegis picked up by the Lycan. Zfreak tries to go in for initiation, can't quite find it. Their defensive fissure blocks it out anyhow. Assassinate. Uh-oh, Goody, they get the vision. And there's a Mystic Flare to follow up. Pick on the Lion. All right, Complexity looking to be in okay shape here as they move towards the base. There is a buyback available on the Lycan. Queen of Pain and Morphling have theirs still on cooldown. Earthshaker, his is coming up in about 20 seconds here and actually does have gold for it. So 2 buybacks unavailable for Wheel. This is a slightly scary time.
That was what saved him the first time, the Earthshaker buyback. So see what they can do with the Earthshaker this time around.
All right, buyback from the Lion used very early on here. We'll have the Alpha Wolf picked up, so extra damage for the entire Dire side. Lots of auras on this Dire team right now. Oh my.
Yeah. All this bonus damage. They really would like that maybe Frost Stomach. They're going to smoke. I think they're going to loop around through the mid lane. That's at least what they're drawing, but doesn't seem like that's going to be the direction they head immediately.
Interesting to see Chen with an Ancient Thunderhide.
I think it's just like, couldn't find anything else.
Yeah.
It's like the only ancient that was there, perhaps.
It's not the worst thing ever. I mean, the Slam, if you can catch a few heroes with it, does a little slow.
It's pretty ass. Yeah, I mean, it's better than not having another creep, so.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. So. He's also just so damn slow. 310 movement speed. Here's the smoke reveal. They're going on to Relic. Zfreak finds a good target. Follow-up is there, but they don't have the damage. He blinks back on 50 HP. My, oh my. Instead, they'll just go for the barracks. Glyph is used. Now BKB's popped aplenty. Sniper will finish off the Lion. That's a dieback for him. Complexity taking some big damage on the back line. Cheese gets eaten by Zfreak. Age is still standing. Barracks are alive for now, but they will focus the ranged barracks. Melee actually end up going down first. Now the retreat from Complexity. Ziz caught by a fissure into an adaptive. Is there any follow-up damage? Quap still has the Sonic Wave.
That.
Do they want to drop it for the BKB?
BKB just to be safe. That was a 9-second BKB. That 50 HP Quap. If Quap dies there, maybe not GG, but 2 lanes of racks potentially, because Quap is so much of the damage output here.
And does not have a buyback. She'll go ahead and grab her Assault Cuirass now.
It was the Derp Fissure too. He blocked the axe off from getting the dunk. That would have been a culling blade onto Queen of Pain if that fissure didn't kind of separate the two.
That was very nicely played.
'Tis mine.
All right. We'll hang on a little bit longer. Mid lane of barracks down, but here at 45 minutes in, well, not the biggest a deal. 1 lane of barracks, not exactly crippling. And Complexity will have to do a little more. They do still have the Aegis. Had to chew through the cheese, but Ziz will have that second life for another pretty good while here, over 2 minutes. Okay. So they can definitely rinse and repeat and try that one again.
Maybe Runa waiting at the bottom river also scouted out, so it looks like they may want to leave that for someone like a sniper. So you pick up that late game bottle, sell your Aquila, or at least get a bottle from a teammate and have it for the team fight.
But now the buybacks have cooled down. Lion, of course, still doesn't have his, but
does Quap have one?
No, 1,500 gold off. She just went all in on the AC.
That's
so
risky, but I mean, you're playing from behind. You're kind of reaching that point where you're going to make some of these tough decisions, and buying up a big item like that is maybe going to be necessary for a win.
Yeah, there's that point where making the safe play is not going to win you the game. It may stall things out, prevent the other team from winning quickly, but I think it's the right call from the Quap. It does actually mitigate the AC on the Lycan. Things out for his team. All heal from Chen to get things started. Pops off all the creeps as everybody rotates down. Looks like Chen has a Drake. Ancient Black Drake. Okay, so now they go to the high ground. BKB used by Ziz. Tier 3 towers down. Now remember, they don't have a glyph here, so these barracks will fall quickly. We'll need to make this fight happen sooner rather than later. They going onto the Lycan. There's your call down. Connects on quite a few. Follow up. Swindle Melons turned into a piggy. Sonic Wave is just enough to bring him down with the Morphling follow up. Now Zfreak tries to go in. BKB as well as the Blade Mail on, but it's not enough. The Dire side dropping like flies. Zizu gets off another ultimate, but they find Ziz in the tree line. Waveform across. Derp. He might fall to this Drake of all things. He's on the run. Okay, he'll make it out. It's just going to be the Lycan left over here as he comes back to life. Compliments of the Aegis. Nowhere for him to go. An adaptive with his name on it, ready and waiting for him as he resurrects. A 1 for 5. Complexity You can't
Oh,
say
boy.
completely repelled. They did get a melee barracks.
Yeah, it comes at heavy costs. That's
Wow.
a big chunk of change they just gave to Team Wheel here to get them towards their late game items. At this point, Sleazel's like, great, I got 4K. Can complete my Satanic, maybe even just drop the bottle and consider some of those bigger late game items. The MKB, the Rapier, you're down a second melee Rax, and that's a big team fight. I'm glad to see Lycan finally make that play where he just BKBs in, attacks the base, but he lingered like a little bit too long with the BKB one off, and the Drip Earthshaker comes up big, hits a nice Echo Slam. Sniper almost got sent back by the Chen. We've seen a few times these Chen sendbacks on heroes that are about to die, but they still just barely got brought down before the sendback kicked in.
Wow, everyone's still dead on complexity. Every single hero has a buyback, and it looks like they'll be up in plenty of time to defend their base. Quap heads for the top, and Sleazel heads for the mid lane. Glyph will simultaneously repel them, and minimal damage on the Dire base. Even though Wheel getting a lot of gold out of that, showing a big sign of life, they still have a ways to go before they seal this one out. They will linger around, and it looks like they actually do want to force a fight here, perhaps.
Some big items, some kind of interesting late game items come. The Skywrath with an Ag Scepter can throw basically a double Mystic Flare with his mana pool. Doesn't have the best mana regen, so it's just got the mana for 2. But that's still a lot of extra damage to help make... The big thing is getting that first dunk. Like, to get that one Mystic Flare is kind of not becoming enough if it's on one of the tanky heroes, like a Gyrocopter or Queen of Pain, who are both sitting on 2k plus HP. So this is where you throw a double Mystic Flare, make sure the Axe gets the dunk, and then you transition from there.
Yeah.
And then the other item is the Axe with a Diffusal Blade. Get rid of some of these Ghost Scepters. You can purge off the Hex from the Queen of Pain as well to help a teammate out.
Only one Ghost Scepter right now on Derp. Maybe anticipating more will come.
I think it's more for the Hexes of
Yeah.
Lion as well as Queen of Pain.
Yeah, the double hex, that's a good point.
But you've got to be, like, if you're not, like, doing it instantly, then most of the Hex still applies.
Seems like an odd pickup for the Axe, to be perfectly frank. I would think something just to help him tank up. Maybe even just like a Heart of Tarask at this point could be good for him. Like a Shiva's, much more conventional items that are available that could have worked out. Swindle, well, never mind. Fissure will be off the mark.
Reveals himself, though, and at that point you see the Sniper, you're thinking, okay, rest of Complexia.
They got to be nearby.
behind,
At this stage of the game, there's no such thing as a solo sniper. At least there shouldn't be.
Deep wards, they will spot out the line with this, and where is that gem? It's on Ix Mike's Morphling on the high ground.
Okay. Yeah, they've got 2 wards down here in the mid lane. Looking at Radiant Vision, they've got some pretty good coverage around their base. Also, high ground here, and the high ground at the bottom tier 2. Hanging in there for now. Complexity, it's starting to feel like they may just be waiting out Roshan.
Absolutely. It's the safe thing to do. They've still got a 2 melee Rax advantage. They've still got kind of a gold lead. I don't know if you can call 3,000 net worth a lead at this point, and experience 10,000 in Will's way. Same time experience, it's like, what do you... Everyone's pretty much got their level 16s apart from the Chen, so...
Yeah, and
it's
the DES, actually.
The XP difference is not something which is really that much of a game changer. A few extra stat growth for some of the big heroes like Quap and Gyro. But
Yeah. At this point, the gold graph is more just telling of how big the swings are more than anything else. The numbers become a little, not arbitrary, but somewhat meaningless. 4,000 net worth, 10,000 net worth. Doesn't really matter if you're caught in a bad position.
most of the big heroes, the cores, have buybacks now, apart from your Axe, who's a couple hundred short.
Swindle actually has a Crystallis, so now he gets the crit. Has just about enough gold for a Daedalus, though, as you're talking about. I think pooling for buyback, very important. Still, Sniper's damage, getting top-notch, getting to that point where he is hard to deal with. If they don't jump on him first in the fights, then he will just lay down the damage.
With Lycan's BKB getting down, maybe this is now time to say, okay, Lycan, you had your shot with the Aegis, it's my turn again, says Swindle. And that Roche is going to be another fairly fast Roche respawn, around the 1 minute past the minimum.
Yeah, that's good, 30 seconds here. Lycan may also be trying to go for that Abyssal Blade before they look to deliver a killing blow. Does have himself the Skull Basher with 2,500 gold, not that far off. May not want to go all in on the stun item. Pool for buyback first, and then grab it when you have plenty of gold to go around. Any BOTs out onto the field yet? No, neither side.
Back to the Hex, there's another Hex, so this
Whoa.
Diffusal getting even better for your Axe. But
Yeah.
he's got to stay alive and not be stunned up to use it.
Easier said than done, God. Especially when he's that front liner, you're prime target for the adapted.
Not the easiest game for Complexity to close out. Gyro and Quap, your top net worth heroes, and your Lycan, who's your most farmed hero. He's not really a 23, 24. Okay, there we go.
Oh, there
Yeah,
it
boy.
is. The Divine Rapier.
And we're talking. The Lycan's big problem here is this. I mean, this one item, this Necro 3, is useless at this stage of the game. The last time he summoned it, Lion just says, I'm going to finger it. It's a 20-second cooldown finger of death. You take out the Lycan Necro book and do a bit of damage. You take out the creep wave as well with it. You're almost at the point where you consider selling. The Necrobook's only good if you're in like a base race scenario and no one's killing the Necrobook. If you're trying to siege, the Necrobook is useless.
Okay. We'll see. Roshan goes down in a matter of seconds. Aegis the Immortal goes to the sniper again. They will continue to toggle back and forth. Cheese. Let's see, where did the cheese end up? On Z-Freak. So there's your full Daedalus on the sniper.
That's the old cheese. I think there should be there's a new one on the Skyrath. Okay.
Oh, is there? Oh, I thought he ate
double cheese.
Maybe they had another cheese. He definitely ate one in that last fight.
They're just stockpiling cheeses.
I think they were
at this
stockpiling
point.
cheeses. Yeah, I didn't check the courier. Okay.
It feels like we're at the point where Ziz may just want to sell the Necro 3, buy an Abyssal, take one of the 2 cheeses.
Yeah.
Like he's almost better off having a cheese in this Necro 3 now.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And you could have the Abyssal cheese and buyback if he sold this Necro book, I want to say, or be around that point, maybe with a bit more farm.
Yeah, the Necro, if you don't need the detection as well, it just doesn't really give you much here. And detection not needed this game. Wow, Hex on Mike. This Morphling really finding some good item progression. Z-Freak. Uh-oh, they're going to jump on him. Adaptive Strike to get things started. Really live long enough to eat the cheese. Hexed up. Mystic Flare almost kills Relic. Oh my gosh, the damage. Derp with a follow-up Echo Slam. Doesn't do a hell of a lot. Finger connects on 2. Swindle getting low. May go down, and he does. But Sleesel in the front lines. That's a Rapier that's going to hit the deck. Who's got it? I don't know who's got the inventory space. It's getting tossed around like a hot potato. A buyback used by the Earthshaker. Run, Chen, run! Queen of Pain gets killed by the sniper. Now he'll buy back as well. Mike, isolated off to the side. The Abyssal rains down from the skies, and it'll be Complexity that come out big.
Zizu, why'd you pick up the Rapier? You got a Sniper and a Lycan. Both those heroes have space. Lycan just has to drop his Vlad. Sniper lost his Aegis. It'd be GG if he... I don't know if it'd be GG, but it'd be a really hard defense if your Sniper had a Rapier here.
It was a pretty big fight. There's still a glyph available, but Wheel, they're lacking buybacks on these 3 dead heroes. The 2 that they had have already been used, and they won't have too many choices here but to just watch their barracks die. Options so limited. Quap trying to go in. Derp as well. Big damage, but the mech, the all heal, they will not be able to take the heat, and they get out of the kitchen. 2-0 for Complexity as they eliminate Wheel from the Summit 3 America.
They went big. They tried to make a jump outside of their base, but not killing off the Axe with that initial engagement made it kind of unrecoverable at that point. They committed the Hex. They threw a lot of damage onto that Axe, and it also just revealed exactly where they are. So Complexity just positioned themselves around. They focused too much damage on the sniper, had an Aegis, and, well, Complexity 2-0 victory. Defy the Dota 2 Lounge betters, and, well, there's going to be a lot of upset people who've lost their Arcanas and their Rares today.
Those bets were bollocks, man. 72% for either team is ridiculous.
Yeah.
For Wheel, obviously a bit ridiculous here. Rares were won, and Rares were lost today. So we've got another best of 3, though. We're going to have a break, about an hour till our next series starts, and it will be Leviathan versus E-Hug.
Yep.
And again, fighting for elimination here. We're in the second round of the lower bracket, so all on the line. This next series, I think, maybe a little more even. Leviathan and E-Hug. I don't know. Leviathan have looked pretty good, but it seems like both teams have been looking pretty good recently. So.
64% for E-Hug on the bet. I mean,
okay.
I feel like this
That's
is
a little
also
closer, but
should be more like 55-ish, maybe a bit high 50s, low 60s. I don't know. It's probably okay, but I don't feel like... I mean, Leviathan's has a more stable roster. It's just they haven't...
That's the thing.
They still, despite being stable, haven't really delivered the big results yet.
All right, very good. So there you have it. Complexity moves on to the next round, and their life continues here in the Summit 3 America, presented by Gigabyte. So stick around, folks. We'll be coming back during the break to talk about some fantasy bets, but for now, stick around.